it's tempting to keep talking about Rob Ford on Here's the Deal, but we're going to switch topics and talk about the three senators who were expelled from the Senate today. They voted separately. I kind of thought that might have meant there was some hope. I don't know.
A split decision. One would get dismissed, one wouldn't. You suspended, one wouldn't. Yeah.
Your thoughts, Jodie?
I think that this is a shame. I think there's a lot that we need to hear about what's really happened. I think the man responsible for appointing these senators should really accept responsibility. You know, Stephen Harper is a man known for control. He appointed these three. He obviously made it clear that this was something that was acceptable to do. Even his own chief of staff and a lot of people in his office and another senator he's appointed have all admitted they had some role to play. And so these senators to get thrown under the bus like this, it's absolutely unfair. It's not democratic, and we need to know what's really going on with this prime minister and with the payoff and the cover-up that has been kind of ignored. It's not a Senate scandal, it's a prime minister's office scandal.
Well, I mean, you cannot control what people are going to do. You can't control other people. Every individual's out there doing their own thing. You cannot control how these people are going to spend their money. You like to think that Stephen Harper would be a little bit better judge of character. If these are the people that he thinks are the top people in Canada who should be appointed to the Senate, this is a problem. And there's no doubt that Harper has thrown these people under the bus. I mean, he basically governs with sort of fear tactics like this. No cabinet ministers are stepping up to defend Stephen Harper here. But yeah, I mean, essentially what they do is they had a vote on guilt, you know, where the majority decides guilt. It's kind of like the tyranny of the majority. Instead of having a trial for these people, they just have a vote on who's guilty and then expel them from the Senate. I think it's disgraceful, but it's been forced on apparently by the Prime Minister's office because they want to move beyond this scandal.
Well, that's the thing. You know, that's the issue for me here is they just want to make this go away. How quickly can we make this go away? We tried the little cover-up. That didn't work.
By throwing them under the bus, as Jodie says.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, that's what's happened here.
The public shouldn't forget about it, and we know that the Prime Minister is either lying or he doesn't have control over his own staff and his own office, and who knows what other deals and problems they're creating without his knowledge. But we know Harper takes responsibility and control for everything. He's a control freak, so he should accept responsibility. And when the sponsorship scandal happened, what did Harper say? That the man at the top, whether he was involved or not, has to accept responsibility.
The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is the thing that gets me, because the Conservatives always ran on this viewpoint that they are going to run this pure, clean ship, that they're never going to have anything like this, and when they do, they're going to take responsibility for it. I'll tell you, Paul Martin wouldn't have dealt with it like this. I mean, this appears to be a cover-up in the PMO's office. I don't know many people who think that the Prime Minister didn't know about Nigel Wright cutting checks. I mean, come on, he doesn't know about it? I mean, I'm awfully suspicious. I don't know what went on there, but you know, ultimately, what would have happened had it been Paul Martin? He probably would have said, you know what, that senator's going to have to deal with it. Let's come out and let's, you know, deal with this in the proper channels. Instead, you know, the Conservative method is to cover it up, throw people under the bus, and basically, you know, terrorize anybody else.
Well, this is the Harper method, and we know he has changed his story from Nigel Wright resigned, and it was with such great regret I had to let him go, to I was deceived by him, I was deceived. Well,
and even today, the announcement from the PMO today was, we're glad this has happened and we're glad they're out of here. It's like, are you kidding me? We're defending them like just days ago. So
well, he appointed them. You know, he appointed them, and now he's glad that
he got lots of fundraising out of it.
Is there going to be a change now in the number of checks and balances when people are filing those expense reports?
Oh yeah, they've got a new auditing system and everything. Every one of those senators is going to be under scrutiny, and probably all of them who were thinking about it voting today were probably thinking about, you know, where did I screw up in my expenses?
And is anyone going to go back?
The vote for Wallen was, and this is approximate, you know, 57-23 or 26, something like that. With some
it wasn't particularly close.
No, it wasn't at all. But there were some people who voted to let them, you know, stay, not have.
Well, there's RCMP investigations at this point. You know, she's under investigation. We'll see. I mean, it does look. Certainly, the optics of their spending is awful. I mean, you think about how you spend money and how you protect your own money. You know, these people should be careful in spending their money.
But this is just what government does. This is no different than what happens all the time. It happens everywhere. There's
it does
waste,
happen
there's
everywhere.
Bloat,
yeah.
There's skirting around the rules. There's all sorts of ways this happens all the time. Only 17% of Canadians trust Stephen Harper. This is a prime minister who cannot govern. He does not have the confidence of the people. I think we should have an election. I don't know how that could happen, but it'd be great if we could actually have some sort of vote about it. Politicians are always working deals. If we started to look at all of the finances and reporting of everybody, there'd be a lot of trouble. There'd be a lot of people.
Well, there's a lot of sense of entitlement around, and that's I think that's
that
what
comes from the
happens
top
here.
down. That comes from the top
It's
down.
arrogance, and that was the thing that they always condemned the Liberals for, and
But
they're far more arrogant than
They
that.
do that back and forth no matter what, opposition.
But the arrogance thing really stuck before. We'll see what happens now.
All right.
Well, especially for a government talking about accountability and transparency, we've got zero of it.
I've got to cut you off. We're out of time. Paul Doroshenko, Jodie Emery, and Lee Checkstead, thank you so much. I like this double dose of Here's the Deal. Coming up on Unfiltered, why the Langley School District decided to ban touching in kindergarten at just one school.